Alright, so you probably clicked on this video because you're at AR8, you're AR7, and you're going through the Archon quest and you found yourself stuck in Mondstadt. And you're like, I don't know how to get to the new area. If anything, this is my first gacha game, or this is my first time playing a game like Genshin in general, and I don't know what to do to make my next step. And as we go through the whole process here, you say, I joined the game because I saw these new hype trailers, I saw my friend playing the new area, and I want to get there. But when I open up the quest log here and I look over and I see, dang, look at that, I need to be at AR10 and to get adventure rank 10 to be able to start this quest so I can continue down the progress, because the Archon quests are basically your major story quests. They're the things you have to do to get to the end. You just find yourself stuck and you don't know what to do, and you go over and you look at the current banner of wishes, and your friend's like, hey, if you wish on this banner, that maybe you already play the game, or I'll just tell you right now, if you wish for Lyney or Lynette, that you won't be able to build them for quite a while until you get to the new area. And that's going to really, stunt your overall enjoyment of the game. It's going to make it a little harder. And so more or less, I want to try and help you get that first step forward. I want to help you get to that next step where basically you're saying, I can build these characters, or now I know what I have to do. And we're going to do it in a bit of a weird way today, where we're not going to go through the Archon quest to get you as close as possible. We're actually going to just shove ourselves right through. We're going to muscle through the map and get our way all the way up to this new area right up here. And I'm going to basically speed up a lot of that process and show you some tips and tricks to get yourself through there. And the biggest idea basically is that we're going to be finding our way through this section, going to this section first right here. And let's go ahead and get started on that route. Grab this waypoint here. There's actually a road that swings over and kind of drags us straight to this guy. So as this is probably your first long journey in Genshin Impact, let me give you a couple of quick tips here to help you kind of maximize your time and efficiency on this. But to start overall, collect those spin crystals. If you see those little butterflies or really just any fruits or flowers along the way, collect those as you're on a fresh account, and you're going to need these things for a lot of crafting or things in the future that will help you progress your account more effectively. And besides that, you'll see I collected, I'm following that little ghost thing around. I've gotten these chests along the way, collected these flowers. Those little bits and pieces don't matter a whole lot now, but as they kind of accumulate over time, we'll find ourselves with a lot more crafting materials and also primo gems to make wishes for the characters we want, or to be able to make that stuff happen, especially if you're a free-to-play player like I am myself with some of my accounts, or like what this account would end up being if the long run, if I end up playing on it more, is that it's going to be completely free-to-play, and so I don't want to spend money on battle passes to get the materials that I wouldn't normally have. So as we collect that first waypoint, or that first checkpoint basically for our journey here, you can see I just continue our pyro puzzle, or the same idea I'm pushing through. And the biggest thing I want to point out here is more or less our statue, our 7 statue here. And so as we get to this new area of Liyue, we can actually resonate with that statue to get new abilities. And much like that trinket there that I couldn't reach, now we will be able to as we work with this statue of 7 basically. And I'll switch to Amber here. You'll see that I don't have the option for the Geo Oculus or the Resonate with Statue option, but on Traveler, I get that new ability where now I make a rock on the ground. So I can use that rock to propel myself upwards, collect that new trinket, even activate this new Geo puzzle that shows up in this new region. And you'll find that a lot of these regions have these little bits and pieces where you need to have, Geo for Liyue or Dendro for Sumeru to do these specific puzzles, or even a Nemo for a lot of the stuff that you'll find in Mondstadt as well, to get to these areas that aren't normally there. And sometimes these puzzles will translate to other regions, with these other overall elements. Like in Liyue, there's a pretty important puzzle where you need some Anemo to make that happen, so you can get yourself these extra options. And besides that, we also find ourselves at this river, where now I'm going to tell you about our overall swimming technique. If you hold the sprint button and then tap your forward motion, you can see that I get a lot farther down this river rather than just straight sprint swimming. I almost make it to the other end on the first try. It's going to take me 3 tries total utilizing this technique to find an opportunity to figure out how I'm going to get across this river. You can actually do an ice bridge with Kaya, which I'll insert a clip here of right now, and start that about a quarter of the way down the overall river, and then do the rest of it swimming, because you'll still have full stamina and you'll be about a quarter of the way down, and they'll get you around. Besides that, if you want to take the long route, you can go around the left and follow that pathway on the overall land, and you can make your way all the way around without needing to swim across this river. But this river is a bit quicker, and I just wanted to overall show for new players the whole swimming technique so that we can better understand ways to get around these kind of ideas, or these trials that you have to go through, and tribulations basically, going through these rivers and mountains to find your way around. So here's the first time you'll see me using this boulder technique to climb up. Basically, all you have to do is place the rock before you get onto the surface, or before you jump on the surface, and then climb up to it. It lasts quite a long time as you have the opportunity. There I used it, but I didn't need to. But it basically makes a lot of these like steeper cliffs that are a little extreme or over the top, a little easier to overall climb up, or makes it a lot smoother. And you'll find as well that at this point I'm using a lot of the glider to get around. There's actually a little bit of a trick that you're going to want to utilize when doing this journey yourself, especially make the gliding section a lot easier or more reliable with a lot of it, is you actually want to equip Amber. Amber has a passive talent where you get 20% more gliding distance, or stamina basically, whenever you use her in your party. And so you don't have to have Amber out while you're gliding, but she just has to be in the party. So I'm still getting that bonus while on Traveler for a lot of this, and you'll find that basically as I'm going through it, that these glides are able to make me go quite a bit longer than maybe you're used to, because maybe you don't have Amber on your party as well. But since you're probably a fresh account, chances are you just have Amber on your team, because that's pretty much one of the few characters that are just super, you know, common on an early game team, because she's the first character you get. Something important to keep in mind is that if you're about to run out of stamina, break your own glide. Don't let the game run it out for you, so you can save the glide right before you hit the ground to save yourself from dying, from falling from too high. There's fall damage in this game, and you don't want to be, you know, losing your character in the middle of running through an important section like this, or if you're right before a big fight maybe when you're exploring. So right here, I just wanted to show that the levels are progressing as the deeper you get into the game or down the map. And we started at level 6, level 8, level 10 kind of enemies, and now we're at level 24. And if we try to fight them, even though we can technically win, it takes a long time. So this is why basically that as we continue down, I won't be doing any of these like camp chests where basically you have to just, you know, defeat all the enemies at the camp to get the chest unlocked kind of thing. I'm just gonna run right past them, and we'll get them later as we re-explore the game at a different time. The whole goal today is to get down to the new area once again, so really if we spend too much time trying to get every single one of those chests, this entire journey will take 3-4 hours. It's a lot better, a lot smoother if we just go ahead and just go straight there and skip those chests. As we're entering this new region over here, Sumeru, we find ourselves basically just drooling at the mouth with like a whole new region, something that just looks extremely fun to explore and look around and figure out more about as we kind of play more of these regions. And you'll find out, as if you're a new player right now, everything's super dense. There's a lot of dense content and things to find in this world that just like are really well done, really well written, scripted, and so on. And it's quite the adventure in this game. They do such a great job creating these environments and these new worlds and ideas with their own cultures and histories and things that you can learn about and figure more out about. And it's honestly just what makes this game so great. There's so many times where like I'll talk to friends or people about, you know, Genshin Impact and why I think it's a good game, and like I just refuse to play a gacha game, understandably, you know, and I don't blame them for not wanting to play gacha games. But if you take this game on its free-to-play level, or even just like a budget level where you're putting in Welcome Moon or battle passes here and there, and maybe you spend $60 like you would on a AAA title as like your budget, if you're just doing that with those Welcome Moons and so on, honestly, I've gotten so much more than AAA budget experiences out of Genshin Impact that I honestly would say that I'll just play it again, over and over again. I'll just play it so many times. You know, I take this purchase so many times over buying another Call of Duty or whatever game, because there's just so much more felt effort and care into this game overall. And it's just even more mind-blowing to me that this is, legitimately speaking, a mobile game. You can just download this on your phone and get this same world exploration experience on your phone. And it's so shocking to me that they were able to get this much out of a game like that. Starting from here is probably going to be the hardest section to more or less get through without having any of the map kind of lit up. And we're not actually going to light up any of this section of the map due to the statue that we have to light up is like way south and really a big detour from where we're trying to go. So basically instead we're just going to more or less muscle right through this section, and it's honestly the area where you could probably get the most lost and so on. And if you find that you want to try and follow my route because maybe you find yourself getting too lost on the way, or you keep on hitting these invisible walls, like if you go too up north it won't actually let you go up north to a certain point, feel free to just like mute this section of the video and play it back at like 0.25 speed and just walk through it best you can. There's a couple of the spots there where I'm doing some gliding techniques at the beginning there where like I'm kind of dodging these rocks and getting between them, but you should be able to get your way through just a little bit of effort and work your way in. And then even in this next section here right after this, we'll find ourselves, you know, working our way up and doing this tough area. But we can see that like as you open up the mini map, you'll find that you can see the cave systems and whatnot, and we're going to heavily utilize that cave system information in this next spot to get that last cave entrance to get into the new area. And we'll see that we can have a cave that we can follow through as long as we just follow our usual waypoints. Oh, it's beautiful. Time. Well, let's unlock it for real. Get that picture of Niagara Falls there. Gorgeous. So that's said and done, more or less. That's the journey to the new area, and to be honest, like it's a pretty simple overall motion. I think to get to this point right here is only about 50 minutes of actual in-game time. And that was taking a lot of minor detours for chests, or you know, getting distracted on some challenges here and there. And to be honest, you could probably do it shorter, and if it takes you longer, that's fine. Maybe plan an hour and a half of time for yourself to do it. If you're a little bit slower, you're still new to the game, working on the mechanics. And it's honestly, at some level, very worth it. If you have these teleporters done and out here, then once you get the event, you can just go straight to the event. You don't have to worry about having that long journey later in the game. And you've already unlocked so much of the map by doing this, where you have ways to start and stem out from certain quests and things. You won't have to run it again, you know, because they have all these teleporters for you. So as a quick thing, you know, utilize that wave rider when you get here and get that last little bit, but we'll just let this play through, and more or less, I'll see you guys for the next video, and we'll talk more about basically how to, you know, get yourself up to AR 2025 and how to unlock that event for your first week. Hope you guys enjoyed, and feel free to subscribe and notify, you know, put the notification up there so you guys can get the videos in the future and find out the best route for yourself for Genshin Impact so you can enjoy the game to the fullest.